So today we are solving algebra equations that involve combining like terms. Now, like terms are two terms that have the exact same variable ending. For example, if they both end in x, or if they both end in a different variable like y's or t's, or if they are both just regular numbers, all right? So the way we combine like terms is if they are on the same side of the equal sign, we can combine them together before we start solving the equation, all right? The best way to understand this is to see a couple examples. So I got a kind of an easier one and then a little harder one here. All right, so let's take a look at this first one. 4x plus 12x equals negative 128. All right, so notice on the left side of the equal sign, we've got two different terms here and they both end in x. So what we can do here is we can combine our x's together. All right, so we've got 4x's plus another 12x's for a total of 16x's on the left side. So we can write down 16x. So all we did was combine those together to make one big group of x's. And then I'm just going to drop down the equals and drop down the negative 128 on the other side. Okay, so this is what we call simplifying. We made this more complicated equation a lot simpler by combining two of these groups with the exact same variable ending into one group. Okay, but now we can solve this because it says 16 times x equals negative 128. To undo the 16, we're going to divide because dividing is the opposite of multiplying. What I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other side. Okay, so 16 multiplying and dividing undo each other, but the x drops down, the equals drops down, and negative 128 divided by 16 is negative 8. And notice we have a statement of x equals negative 8, so we're done. X must be negative 8. All right, and with like all algebra, if you wanted to check your answer, you could. I'll do it on the calculator, although you could do it in your head if you wanted to. All we have to do is put negative 8 in for x and see if this side of the equation really does equal negative 128. So let's see. 4 times negative 8 plus 12 times negative 8. And let's see if that equals negative 128. And it does. So we're good. So we know negative 8 must be the right answer. All right, so let's see a slightly harder one this time. We've got 9x minus 3x plus 4 minus 17 equals 5. Notice, this left side of the equal sign has a whole bunch of terms, but we can combine some of them together to make this a much simpler equation to solve. For example, take a look right here. We've got two groups of x's here. We've got 9x's minus 3x's. So we could just make this one big group of x's. 9x's, take away 3x's, leaves me with 6x's. So I'll write 6x. Okay? Similarly, if you look next to it, we've got regular numbers next to it. Plus 4 minus 17. So think of this as positive 4 minus 17. And what is 4 minus 17? It's negative 13. So I can write minus 13. All right? And I'll drop down my equals and drop down my 5. Okay? So all I did was group up my x's to make one group of x's, group up my regular numbers to make one group of regular numbers, and look, this is a much easier algebra equation to solve. Okay? So let's do that. So we've got to undo this minus 13 first, so I'm going to add 13. But what I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do the other side. So 13's undo each other, but the 6x drops down. The equal sign drops down, and 5 plus 13 is 18. We're almost there. To figure out what x is, I've got to divide by 6 because it says x times 6, so we're going to divide by 6 to undo it. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other side, though, so let's do that. So the 6's undo each other, but the x drops down, the equals drops down, and 18 divided by 6 is 3. And notice, I'm left with the statement x equals 3, so that tells me that x must be 3. All right, and again, if we want to check our answer with the calculator, it's pretty easy to do. All we have to do is put 3 in everywhere where x is. And this original equation is a little long, but I'll try it. Here we go. 9 times instead of x, 9 times 3, minus 3 times, instead of 3 times x, 3 times 3, plus 4, minus 17. So hopefully all of that should equal 5 if we've got the correct answer. And look, it does. All right. So we know for sure that our answer is correct. All right. So the key to combining like terms is to look at your equation and see if there's any terms with the exact same variable endings on the same side of the equal sign. Okay. And that's key. It has to be on the same side. Because notice over here, we had regular numbers on the right side and the left side. But we only combined the two on the left side. Okay. We didn't combine them with the 5 because they're on different sides of the equal sign. That's important. All right. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit that like button. Also subscribe because it really helps us out. But with that being said, good luck on your math and I will see you next time.